Hello. There are situations where you want to run SQL queries directly because something happened or you want to really confirm something from the system, but you can't get access to that on the text page. But you can create a kind of a page where you quickly run some SQL query to get something done very quickly. This should be restricted to the administrator only. Here's what I'm trying to say. You have a situation in your system and you want to quickly check the database. You may not have access to the SQL here. This how will I call it? This SQL or MySQL terminal, and you just quickly want to check something like say or join tables quickly, or check to know why something is wrong, or check a particular value in the database. Okay. Might say I write something like this: select name, comma owner from tab user. Now you see what we have. We have a result here. You can't just instantly get this from your text page. Just writing SQL query, although you can use report, but you may not be able to get some things from that report. Sometimes you may want to quickly run quick code, check for some things, just some other variety of things you can do directly inside the MySQL table you may not have access to on the text page. In this section, I'm going to show you how you can actually create a page where you can run this SQL query and also get your result back into the page. And the result will be displayed in this format. You get it in this format, but it will come as to come in the form of a table. A table could be something like this. Okay, let me use where I have data. Okay, here is a table, and as well when you use the report view also shows you a table. It's also a table. So one the result displays just like this on our desk page. And you can also filter, kind of remove column, sort, and at the same time drag change the position of the field. Okay, and how do you go about that? You can easily do that by first you go to the page list, you add new page, you have inputs or default page created, you have this estate app we created earlier. At the same time, just like I showed you how to add new page, you create page, you give it a name. I'm going to give it database. And so I have the same for the title, and it should be in your custom app so you can edit the code. Module should be estate app, I believe. Also restrict this page to administrator because here you have to be very careful, else you can mess up your entire system. You have to be extremely careful and be sure that only the administrator can access the page. Okay, once saved, you can go straight to the page and you'll find a blank page with the title. Here we have it, database console. Okay, to view the source code, we can go straight to our source codes, our custom app, the module, not this, the module page, and you find the folder database console with two files. The JSON is for the configuration information, and this contains the page source codes. Recall earlier I showed you how to create a page on something called welcome. Number 46, how to build page like POS and dashboard. From here, you'll see how to set up a page. I'm going to use this as well to work. Okay, we go back straight into the codes. Rather than doing that again, just like I did in the other video on 46, I'm just going to copy it straight, go straight to the code itself, state.js, copy the entire content of this state.js. Control C, you can close it, come back to our database, open the JS file just directly below here, paste it, just go up, copy the title, paste the title here, then copy the name, place this name here, and delete this entirely. Okay, the other things we have to do, delete all this function here, this status function. I have to check where it ends here. I'm going to delete it. So delete this comment, delete this as well. Also delete this. Let's see where it started. Okay, from here to here, delete this as well. This function as well, delete uh, the currency. Okay, I might just delete it. Okay, yeah, for the body as well, I might just delete the entire body content. Okay, what we have in the body is just this div id first chart. Okay, so what we have here is this header, the my page function, the make function, and the renderer, what shows the templates, just like the other page. And as well, get rid of this page charts. Our HTML contents. And the frappe, the body code which we injected here that picks this entire body file and injects it into here. Okay, you can see the code once more. You have this, you have the initialize function end here. You have the make function, it ends here. And this closes off the my page. Here is a variable to hold the HTML file. And here is an object that picks this body and inserts it into this place. Okay, save, go back to our page and reload. What you see here is no different from what we have in the estates. The estates just, it's just that I don't want to spend my time rewriting it. That is why I grabbed it and removed the part I do not need so as to be very fast. Okay, our page has fully reloaded, but there's no content on it. To check that this is actually working, you can add a content here in the middle here, just something like hello, save, and reload the page. Okay, now we have a content on the page. And what I want to do here is kind of add a form, an HTML form here that we can use to make query. Go straight to Google and type something like bootstrap form. Okay, I have a get bootstrap, form bootstrap. We're gonna choose, okay, we're gonna grab this first one, copy, dump it in the middle here, replace the hello. Might just have to indent the form. I'm gonna get rid of this last one here, get rid of this next form, and only use one of the form field. Label here, might call it query or query, and the name will be enter your SQL query or enter SQL query. Type here may not be ID, it's going to be text area, text area. No need for type. Then ID is query. Don't need this describe. Don't need it. Placeholder is enter query. I'm gonna end it with text area. Okay, and for this small one, the only thing I need to change in this small is the contents. But I'm gonna make it red. Think before you type. Text danger because you are running an SQL query, you can empty your entire database, you can wipe it off and save. Once saved, you go straight to the web page and reload. Okay, and here we have a nice page. I see. We can use this to enter query. You can also define how many column you want this page to appear. Just normal HTML column, colon, a row. But I'll just leave this like this. And this thing before you type, although the class did not show up. Text danger, that should be the class. More class text danger should be red. Anyway, that's not important for the now. And here we can run our SQL query and submit. This goes back to the system, then get results for us. But before that, there are other things we should take into consideration. Okay, we need to be able to grab this content. Once we grab it, get the data, then send it to the system. Because right now, if you click submit, this page will reload, and that's not what we want. We want to be able to grab it, and the result, the page stays the same way. We get the result and push it. Okay, we go straight to our editor. We can create a function or write a function just above this place. Say function make query data. Yeah, sorry, this will be make table. Here will be make query, form query. Okay, here I'm going to pull the form data from this other function, but I will use make use of jQuery directly. Meaning that when the form is submitted, we should pick the data sent, then try to run a function with it. First is to prevent either prevent default in JavaScript or DOM. You have to prevent any action that will happen. Because naturally, when you submit a form, the page reloads. You want to stop the page from reloading. It prevents default. And I also want to something printed to the screen to be sure that our code is working properly. Okay, and please, I might also have to bring this because of the execution. The code executes from top to bottom. I want the code executed immediately this page has been rendered. I'm going to bring it down here just under execute methods. Paste it. Just after this render page content. That's where I want it. Okay, going to save this, go to my page and reload. Okay, page fully reloaded. You can open the console, Control Shift J, clear, click submit. Okay, since the page has not loaded yet, I have to check again. Uh, we have not assigned this query form to any value, to any field. I mean, the form here is the form ID. We're going to give it an ID. It's assigned query form. Then in this query, we assign a hash. Since it's an ID, if it's a class, we use a dot. That's all we need. And you see the content shows a form submitted. You can clear that out more. Click again. The page doesn't reload and you have this fire we required here, form submitted. We can progress to get the form data. That is what was typed in here. Okay, to grab the content of this page inside this query form, this jQuery here, all we should do is try to pick up the form data. Let form query is assigned. You have various ways to pick it. You can pick it directly using document.query selector. You might just have to use jQuery once more. The form itself, this value text area has an ID query. I'm going to add this ID query. Here's how you can grab the content of the form text area. Then I might have to console the content. Save that. Here I grab the, okay, let me show you what I mean by this code here. Um, Let me type something inside here. Hello. Come straight to the browser. Grab this. The ID of this text area is query, and you see content printed, right? But the it's kind of a list or an array. The value, the first content holds the entire form. You can see it highlighted. Okay, to get the main data from it, you want to pull up 0 dot value, and you see the content hello printed. How about say hello world? You can see the value hello world. That's why I pulled it out this way. You can also pull it out in another way, like documents dot query selector query. You see the entire HTML, the entire object, and when you pass dot value, you get hello world. So you can use either of these. Okay, that was pulled off, then assigned to this form query. Then we try to print the content of the form query. Okay, we can test that. Clear. Submit. You find the value printed. Select X from Y. And that's all we'll be needing for the now. The last thing to write in this section is to get this query and send it to the make query function. Here, you're going to bring in the make query, and it takes what? This form query. And that's all for the now. What we are doing here is pass the whole control to this function at the top. And what does this function at the top do? It will pull the data and use it to do something. First, I want to print, I want when any query that is entered there and clicked, I want it printed just below the submit. Okay, I'm gonna go below the submit. Just after this form, I have to add another ID. The use an ID query results. Okay, I want once this data comes into this form query, just drop it into the query results. First, I might quickly do something like document dot query selector dot inner text is assigned form query. The meaning once this event here is executed, we just come straight into here using the form query passed in here, then kind of replace the content with form query. That's this div here with form query. We can save that, reload the page. Okay, page reloaded. You can click. Um, we have a blank data here. Okay, no data. You can also do such that you can also use if such that this event should only fire when there is data in here. I just have to write something like if form query dot length greater than one. And you see this hello here, you can also see it at the bottom of this submit. I'm not interested about what is it called, CSS beautification. I'm just about getting the results. That's what I'm concerned about. You can decide to add your CSS to space this just to space this submit and this hello. I'm not particularly concerned about that. Rather than writing any CSS, I might just have to put some kind of either a break here or something. Anyway, we've achieved something. We try to pull the data from here and dropped it down here. The next thing I want to do, whenever I write an SQL query, I want to be able to pick it, go back, go straight to the database and do something with it. With that, we have to write some code in our database. Inside this page, we'll create a new file with the same name, new file, .py. First, you import Frappe, then add Frappe.whitelist, define query database, and it picks up a query sent from the front end. Okay, the first thing I want to do is try to be sure that the person making this query is the admin. Although the page settings has defined that only the admin has the role, but I also want to be sure because somebody could still push send data to this page or URL or from somewhere. First is if frappe.session.user, my session is not correct, is not equal to admin. I might have to a switch here. Data is assigned. Reply 0. I'm going to be using this reply as some kind of a switch case to know the response I'm getting from the database. So if the person making this request is not an admin, then I'm going to send the contents. This data, a dictionary of content, is assigned unauthorized authorized user. Return this data back to the front end. Else, if this is an admin, if it's the admin, then we use a try case, try and accept, because your query may be wrong. Someone may end up typing a wrong query, and once you send it to the back end, something like select X, comma, from Y. This comma here is going to cause an issue in the system. That may end up crashing. It's better use a try and accept. So we try if the try is okay, then we work and return result. But if it is not okay, we raise an exception, return the exception to the front end. Okay, content is assigned frappe.db.sql. whatever this person sent. Okay, or complete the query. Three. Okay, I have to first return it as dictionary. Although returning it as dictionary is not really a good idea, but I'm going to explain why as we go on as dict. Else, if there's an issue with the query, okay, once this is done, you can return your data. Here our data of reply is equals to 1, meaning that it was successful, and data of content is what content, what was returned from the database. Else, if there's an issue, return to, and the content becomes E. And we can return the complete data, return data. Okay, for the now, this is all the code we need. Can go straight to your server, restart. Then one more thing we should also do is once we are done writing this code, we need to connect directly using an Ajax request. And recall Frappe has an Ajax request we can use. You can type frappe.call here. This copy. I don't think I need this here. Paste it, record the row. The method should be estate app dot another estate, that is the app dot the module dot sorry, that is estate app dot page dot database dot page dot database underscore console dot. Here we have the arguments. Query, form query, record to add your comma. This query is what to be retrieved here as query, then passed into this code. And recall here, if it is not an admin, we return this. If it is an admin and the code goes well, we return this. If there's an issue in the code, we return this. Save. Okay, explanation should be okay. Okay. What else? Once this data is returned, I want it printed. Console.log R, and the console is not correct. Okay, save. But we pick the data from this form, but let me mark the end. Pick the data from the form, pass it here. This makes an API call to the server. The server kind of, check through some things. Then based on the results, it returns it back to the system here as R. the R gets printed to the system, to the screen. You can reload this page. Okay, time to test out our code. First, I'm going to type an invalid SQL query and submit. And okay, I'm having an issue here, says invalid method. It may be syntax error or something. You can check from the terminal to see what the issue is. Says invalid method here. Go up a little to see. Okay, has no attribute, query database. Okay, means that we did not connect to this correctly. estateapp.estateapp.page.database console.query database. You cannot find this attribute. And I have to check to know why I can't find the attributes. My bad. Database console. I'm sorry, database console dot database console again. Okay, that's the issue. This should be repeated twice. The folder dot the file, the Python file. Okay. Refresh or reload the page. Okay, can try doing that again, submit, and you get a result here. And you see this exec here, it says you can drop your mouse on it to see the value. The message is returned, and it says programming error 106. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL DB, and that's the error. Then we can try to run an invalid key. Select name, comma, owner from tab user, and here you have a valid SQL result. Three contents. You see the first one is administrator, name owner administrator. The second one is guest owner administrator, and the last one is test as local site. Now we have a valid result returned to us. Now how about displaying this result to the screen, or based on what we get here, we can tell the system, oh, this is wrong or this is right. We can go straight back into this code here. Recall that 0 stands for invalid unauthorized user, 2 stands for error, and 3 stands for correct value. Okay, I might just let results to assign r dot message. Okay, if results dot reply equal to 0, and frappe dot true result dot message. You're going to throw something like this, unauthorized user. Okay, now if else, if result dot reply, result, my bad, result dot reply equal to 2, 2 means there's an issue, equal to 2, then I want this, I want the value pasted. I actually do not want a repeated code here. Do not want to repeat this code. Okay, I might just have to repeat it anyway. Is assign result. Here we have result dot message, not message dot content. Here is my bad. Here is result dot content, not message dot content. Here we have result dot content, and Let me write this once and not repeat it. Let L elements is assigned this. It becomes element dot inner text is this, and element dot add class text danger. That is CSS for red. Then else, if everything goes as planned, I want the result to be pushed into this make table. Make table result. Save. Okay, first, when we make query, it returns value. If it is an unauthorized user, we throw it back to the screen. If there's an error in our code, we display it just below the submit. And if everything goes well, we want to make the table to show. Reload. Okay, page reloaded. Um, I want to type something wrong. Select. And you see we have just a message here says programming error. You have an error in your SQL code. I have no reason why this did not show. This element dot add class. I believe this should be wrong. Text as danger. Should be add class, I believe. I strongly believe. What? CSS. Not concerned about CSS for now, but let me see CSS text red. Okay. If that doesn't work, we may have to add the class. We have to use jQuery. Um, 0. I just want the text color to show red. If it doesn't work, we still have to progress. Fine. Select X comma from. Okay. Now we have it. Programming error. You have an error in your SQL syntax somewhere. This. Now we have the correct value. Then how about we type when we enter a valid SQL query? What do you have? I have to use my property select name comma property name from tab property. Okay, I have this valid thing, but once we have a valid value, this should automatically be deleted. And how do we do that? And replaced with a table. Okay, right now it's time to work on a table because we see we actually have valid value here. You can still order your results, order by name PESC. Rather than coming from the first one, it should come from the last one. So it came from the last one. And before that, how about if we get an empty set, like we have something like where name equals 1. This will return an empty set. How do we handle this? If you look, you have a zero array, but the code was successful. We can also rewrite our code here if there's a result. So if reply, so if results dot length greater than 1, else frappe dot message print empty set. Okay. I have to enter that query again and submit. And here I get empty set, right? But if there is no empty set, we got our value. Sorry, this should not be empty. Property, I'm going to check that order by name. I just see printing empty set. Okay, there's an issue. We have to check that code very well. If message.length, okay, let's investigate to know why it's saying empty sets for this first one. Oh, my bad. If result dot content, result dot content, result dot content. Okay, that is if result has a content and the content is greater than 1, we log here, else we send it to this make table function, else we just print this. And once the next place we are going to is this make table function. This make table function is where we have to print our table to the system. Okay, I have to enter that once more. Empty set, and we have result printed here. Okay, that's fine. And so how do we get the table printed down here? We use from Frappe, go to frappe.io, scroll down. We first worked on using a chart. Here we have data table. We can work with the data table. And from the data table page, you see say fast, rich JavaScript data table, a simple, modern, and interactive data table for the web. You can see how it is presented. You see these results. You click here, you can sort, you can remove this column. You can drag this column to the right, to the left. You can also add a filter at the top of this column. And to use it in your, you can use it in other application other than Frappe or ERPNext. If you are working with a Node application, you install it like this, or if you are working directly in your HTML, you add it directly like this. Okay, or you also, once you've added in your Node app, you import it and use it. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is copy this templates straight into my code. Okay, and just here you can add the class where you want the ID of the HTML file where you want the table to be printed. And the ID we have here is query results. That would be hash query results. save, reload. Okay, run our codes. About select X. You get an error. Okay, select select name, comma, property name from tab property. When name equal to 0, oh, order by name sending. Empty set, right? How about we remove this where clause? Okay, now we have an issue and look at it. It says reference error data table is not defined. Since this data table cannot be found, all you have to do is try to inject the data table directly into the code. I might just have to inject it directly under this place. Once this page is loaded, then I inject it. We can do that, just um, recall from our previous codes. If you have seen the tutorial on how to add how we worked on this language translator, might just visit that directly from public JS text or JS. Yeah, here is what I used. Paste it just below here. Then this link, replace it with this HTTPS down to this at latest. Okay, that's what we have as our script tag. Then add it straight to, okay, might have closed that. After that, you add the straight, add it to the header, the HTML file. Okay, and that's all we need. I have to copy this code so as not to lose it. Okay, I'm gonna run my correct query, submit, and you see table printed there, right? You can move this table, but the table does not contain our data, what we actually want printed in here, right? So, and what about when your query has an error? See the content here replaced, right? And what if it is valid? You see the content replaced as well. Okay, that's fine. Now, how about we send our content directly to this place? And take note of this. The result of our query is inside this content. But we are going to replace this content with this. Do that. The entire data will be replaced with data. The data here, that the data sent here, becomes data dot content. That's all. And here we pass it as results. But in the function, it is what? Data. It becomes data.content. Reloads. Okay, that's reloaded. I'll run this query once more. And you can see we have a hundred, sorry, not 100, we have 48 results. And you see here in our array is 48 as well. But there's an issue. Recall earlier I told you, or I said that returning this as a dictionary might give some issue, but we are going to evaluate our options and see the best. So I want to get rid of this as dict, stop the server and restart. Run this query again and you see the results shown. But there's an issue here. Take note of this. We have this result shown here and you have we selected the name, the property name from this, but you can see the top here, we are not actually getting the names of the header. Okay, we might just check through our property. See, it says name, property type, and some other things. Okay, I want to retrieve the property name, the agent, and the agent name, and grand total. Okay. Now you see these results here, but you can see there's an issue because this name field is not appearing in the header. You're going to have serious issue in terms of how the data is displayed. You might have to find a way to properly format this content because you are not getting what you want. And working on this is actually very simple, and you can see this error because the column header does not match the results. And how can we work on this? That takes us back to this code. You might have to leave this as it is, right? All I want to do is when this result comes as dictionary, there are two ways I can do this. Is either I get rid of sorry, I get rid of this as dict to get the complete result, then look for a way to match these name fields. But if I try to extract this from the query, what about if you make a join statement, you are joining two tables? How do I extract that? So I think I might just have to use this as dict, then find a way to run through it and restructure. Okay, save this as dict and let's just observe this data from the dict returned. We get this blank, but please take note of this. Should I clear? Oh, just clear that result. Okay, content. Let's use this array one as a case study. I missed something. Okay, does not matter. You have this name and property. All we should do once this result is returned, we'll pick if there's actually results. Excuse me. We'll pick the first one, pick the name and the property name or wherever it is, and use it to label the header. And let us do some quick coding in Python console. Python 3. Okay. Check this out. I just call it A is assigned. We have something like this. We have first dictionary A, assign the value of 0. B, assigned 4. C. Assigned five. Comma. D. Assign 9. Okay. Now check this out. How do you retrieve? I want to retrieve just the keys, not the value, the keys A, B, C, D. How do I retrieve the keys? How about I do something like this? I of 1 for I in enumerate A. I'm only interested in this first one because all the dictionary content will have the same keys. I'm only interested in the first one, 0. Um, that spelling is correct. Enumerate, enum. Okay, I've been able to successfully retrieve what we have here, the value A and this B from the first one. Since all of them have the same, if I go to the second one, it has the same key value, name, property. The third one, name, property. That's all I'm interested in. Once I retrieve that, I use it to make the header. So I'm just going to grab this, my code. Then check to be sure that this query return the content. If content, that means if it returns a value, if the query is successful and return a value, then I'm going to add an extra content to the dictionary. Call it table head. Is assign this. Rather than having A here, it becomes content. Right. That's the first one. Can test the content out first. And then before this comes here, that means there is result actually. There's actually a result. This column becomes data dot table head. Reload. I have to grab this. Okay, reloaded. Can try that query again. And you can see what we have here. You can decide to, add a property here, something like I do something like this dot upper or dot title. It's all there for you. Anyhow you want it. I'm not interested in any format at the moment. You see what you have here: name, name, property name, right? How about agent? Okay, agent name, um, property. Okay, status. Submit. You see the content. Can see the header shown directly to us. Okay, how about I'm adding this. You can decide to run your code to know how you want the price formatting to be. I'm not going to bother myself about that. You're going to decide how you want this pricing to be shown. You can see the data showing correctly before you. How about I add a limit here? Okay, I just have to close this. You can see just 10 results was displayed or shown to us. Okay, we are not through yet, or we ain't through yet. I just have to get rid of this limit. Okay, we have our data. Now, there are things you can do here. You can actually remove it. Like I can remove this agent, this, remove this column, remove. You can sort this by sale. You can sort this by sale, sort ascending. You can sort by price, right? Now, you can also, change the position of each field or column. You see it. Now, how about filtering to filter from this column? How do you work on the filtering? And also, let me show you something wonderful. How about introducing an error in this code? Replace, right? Remove that. You see, you got a nice, the page was automatically replaced, the content. Okay. How about adding the filter? So it can be just like these records. Okay, must have removed column filter. Let me go straight to show you what I'm talking about. Filter here. Okay, here are the options you can add: custom format, inline editing, mass selection, copy cells, keyboard, resize column, flexible, team support, large inline filter, and some other things you can actually copy. Okay, I might grab this inline filter, add it just after the data, change this to true. Sorry, some music is coming from outside. Then you have other options. To see all these options, you can copy it from here, or you can still go to the formation. You can also add an event to it so that when something happens, you trigger an event. You can go straight to the documentation to see more of the options on how to use it, or you can read through this page. The other thing I want to add is the drop down. Yes, all I want is this. Save should be the last thing I want to do here because the noise is getting louder. Okay, that's it. Paste, submit, and you get what you asked for. Here is a filter. You can filter with here, just type agent, and only result with agent to be shown. Okay, you see this drop down. When you click on it, mouse doesn't seem to be responding well. Okay, have it. And that's it. How about selecting asterisks? Wow, this is so large. Selected everything from the table. You can drag this forward, see what you have. The images, wow, so long. City, right? So we see that everything, you can run any query, but please, and you can destroy your entire database from here. You can actually run this a delete query in here. You can run this delete and you have your database empty. So be sure you assign the correct permission, and it's only admin that can access it for something that you just need to access very quick to fix something or to check through something, and that's all you have to do. I'm sure you must have learned something from here and really do enjoy what you see. Thanks for watching. Please do record to subscribe, and more videos will come up as soon as I'm able to. Well, thanks for watching once more. Have a wonderful day.